The hidden shift most people never notice. Pain is part of being alive. Physical pain, emotional pain, psychological pain. Pain signals that something matters, something needs attention, something needs response. Pain is information. Suffering is something different. Suffering begins when pain stops being temporary and starts becoming explanatory. Instead of saying, "This hurt," suffering starts saying, "This is why my life is the way it is." Most people don't notice when this transition happens because suffering often feels like understanding. It feels like clarity, self-awareness, honesty about the past, realism about limitations. And all of those can be valuable, but they can also become structural. The danger is not pain itself. The danger is when suffering becomes identity, when suffering becomes the lens through which you interpret relationships, opportunity, risk, failure, future possibility. At that point, suffering stops being something you experience. It becomes something you organize your life around. This is where suffering starts functioning like a prison, not because the door is locked, because the brain stops looking for the exit. Pain demands response. Suffering often cancels it, because suffering explains why response won't matter. Over time, something subtle happens. The longer suffering explains your life, the smaller your life becomes. Not dramatically, gradually. Possibility narrows, risk tolerance shrinks, vision shortens, hope becomes conditional. Most people don't consciously choose this. It happens through repetition, repeated explanation, repeated reinforcement, repeated identification with pain-based meaning. The most powerful shift most people ever make is this: moving from "this explains why I can't" to "this happened, and now I decide who I become next." This is not denial of pain. It is refusing to let pain define identity permanently. The truth most people eventually discover is simple. The door was never locked. It was avoided. Pain is unavoidable. Permanent suffering is often structural, and structures can be changed, but only through lived change. Not insight alone, not intention alone, not explanation alone. Nothing changes until it's lived. What if suffering has already shaped parts of your life more than you realize?